You, and I first want to say good evening to everyone. Oh, you know I'm a former teacher. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Dr.
Okay, you know I'm putting a lot of energy out here. Okay, let me say this to you first of all. I know a lot of you. I know where your hearts are. I know your commitment. I know that you care that things happen right for our children. I know you do. I know you do. But can I say this to you, and I'm saying this all with a lot of love. I want you to feel love coming out from me now. I'm saying this with a lot of love. The children are in the position, and some of our young people, and I want to show you this one document, and if you don't have it, I'm going to make sure you get a copy of it. And this document says the America Dilemma and Challenge. The America Dilemma and Challenge. Save our children. Save our children. They said that's the American Dilemma and our challenge. And I want to say this, and I'm saying this with a lot of love. We succeeded because somebody stood in the gap for us. We succeeded that somebody lifted us up. We succeeded because there was a village out there. And if you kicked the can down the middle of the street, before you got home, your mama got a call that you kicked the can down the middle of the street and you had no business being in the middle of the street. Am I right or wrong? You're right. Now what happened? Come on, what happened? When I did not do right in school, that, for me to go home and the teacher to have to call my mama, I was in trouble before I opened my mouth. What happened? I'm saying to you, it is our fault. I'm putting it back on us. I'm not putting it on the schools. I'm not putting it on the teacher. I'm not putting it on the fact that the textbooks aren't what they should be. I'm not putting it on the fact that the computer is not where it ought to be. I'm not putting it on that. Because we learn without the computer. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm back on that now. I'm back on that. We need to have it. We learned when the textbook, we didn't have any textbooks. We come from a culture of people that we weren't supposed to learn how to read. And what were people doing way back then? When people had to walk. Come on now. Work with me now. Am I right or wrong? Amen. That's right. Then what happened? When people walked 10 miles to get to the school one way and 10 miles back, now we got a whole generation. Now work with me now. We got a whole generation of young people. We are losing. We are losing. We got babies raising babies. We got kids that's 16 years old, 14 years old having babies. And they don't even know how to read themselves. What do you think is going to happen to my baby here? And I'm telling you right now, if I start talking to you about education, I'm telling you, you got to start prenatally. And by the time I'm going to give you 9 months to drool and all of that, after 9 months, I got to start working with you. Even before 9 months. Tell me you're going to bring my child to school and by kindergarten. That's too late. It's too late. You have to start working with those children before they're 1 year of age. And I'm saying is we have got to all be ambassadors. We are all going to have to get up there, and if each one reach one, teach one, if you can get 1 or 2 or 3, we have got to break out of the mold. Yes, don't get me wrong, I just did come back from the cave-ins. It was nice. It really was. And yes, you and I, we're going to go get some Chicos. I'm going to tell you that. But let me tell you what we've got to do. We have a responsibility to the next generation. I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day, there will come an end of the day for every one of us. We will have to stand before the judgment throne. And we're going to have to give a testimony. I truly believe this with all my heart. We're going to have to stand there. Okay, now let's roll out your life, Linda. Let's roll out your life. Let's see what you did with the time I gave you. I truly believe that every one of us will be held accountable for what we did and what we didn't do. And I'm saying this with a lot of love. The reason I say this is too many of us are pointing the finger at what the school district didn't do. Now, don't get me wrong. Can the school district do better? I'm right there going through the policies. Yes. Can the teachers do better? Absolutely. Can the principal do better? All right, I'm there. Can the support staff, can the bus driver, can all of, yes, 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 1,000 times yes. But can you do better? Can your church do better? Can the Black Caucus do better? Can the Deltas do better? Can the other Greeks do better? Can we all do better? And you and I know, every culture group I know, every culture, and I study them all, I've gone to their events, they lift up their children. Every one of them. They fight for their children. And I'm not mad at them. They lift up the children. They fight for the right of that child to be a part of the world. And if we do not take on that responsibility, we will be held accountable at the day of judgment. And I don't mean to make that sound harsh, but it's my true belief system. Now let me tell you what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about several things, and I apologize to you. Next time I'll have to maybe get a large PowerPoint projector screen from the school district. I tried to get mine out of my shed, and it was way back in some junk. I couldn't even begin to get it, and it was hot, and it's almost like a clunker. So I apologize to you. But next time, Yvette, when I come, I will make sure that we have a nice PowerPoint projector on the screen and the whole bit. Even have people come and set it up for me. But I want to share this with you, and I don't want to take a lot of time, but I want to share some major points with you. You've heard it said it takes a village to raise a child. You've heard it said. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
All right. But I say to you, it takes a village to educate a child. That's what the village is about. All the trustees have to come up with what they call a PAC group. A PAC is what they call a parent action committee of some sort. I call mine the village because I grew up in a village. I grew up where people all around you were very much encouraging you. They let you know that they were expecting you to do right. They let you know that you had a responsibility to hold up your family's name. They let you know that when you did disappoint people, they were disappointed in you. They let you know that you were going to be somebody. They let you know that you had a responsibility to be somebody. And we broke away from the village, quite frankly, because we all moved away from our homes. I'm from Ohio, and I got any Ohio people here? Where are my Ohio people? Okay, here I am. Here I am. In Ohio, in Dayton, Ohio, it was a great place to grow up in. It was a very industrial town. NCR was the biggest company there. But one of the things that we did, and let me just tell you what my mother did, and I was just talking to my sister earlier today. I said she was ahead of her time. You know what she did? You know what she did? We were just little kids. We didn't know anything. She made us all line up almost every day. All of us. We were 2 and 3 and 4 years old. I remember that. She had 5 kids. She lined us up. And she went down the place in each row. She said, she already told us what we was going to be when we grow up. Now, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a teacher. What are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a teacher. And she go all the way down until she got to my brother. Now, my brother, I'm dating myself, but I'm going to go do it anyway. During the time we grew up, they had coal boxes. And coal boxes, you got coal out of these boxes, okay? And the people that threw the trash cans and cleaned up the trash and clicking the trash cans and was singing as they come down the road. I mean, and we little kids, we just thought this was wonderful. These guys came and they picking up the trash and they clanging the thing and they laughing and singing and they made it look like a lot of fun. So my brother decided, when my mother said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a trash man, you know. And so my mother goes, whoa, 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 whoa. That's okay the way that looks, but that's a lot of hard work. I want you to learn that all that looks good is not good. So she had to reprogram him to say that was an honorable profession. There was nothing wrong with doing that, but that people were expecting more from you. What I'm saying to you this evening, and I'm going to talk to you about the village, we have to go back to our roots. We've got to go back to what got us over. We got to go back to what educated us. We got to go back to what saved us, because we've lost our way. We've lost our way with the generation that's coming behind us, and I don't want this to sound like I'm being totally pessimistic, because there are wonderful groups of young people. But let me tell you, if you look at our stats, and I don't want to belabor you with all the stats, but if I take 100 young people that starts in kindergarten today, at the rate they're going, 100 that start in kindergarten today, going at the other end to the 12th grade, I have 46 that will graduate. From the time they start from the 1st grade, that's 100. What does that leave me? There says 54 with someplace else. I have 46 that will graduate. Now, you and I know there is no future for you, particularly in this world today, without any kind of an education or some skills. You can't even get a job if you don't know the computer. And if you talk about my 4 literacy skills, and let me give you my 4 literacy skills. Literacy skills, my first one says the first thing you got to do is have what they call good listening skills. You got to be able to listen well. And listening is a skill. You just don't all of a sudden hear words and you can hear. Listening. My second skill is that you have to have some articulation skills. You got to be able to speak well. You've got to be able to speak. So you got to be able to listen, then you got to be able to speak. My other skill, my third skill, is you've got to be able to read. You've got to be able to read. I don't care what it is. It's got to read the manual. You've got to be able to read. So that's my third one. And my fourth skill that we have to have our young people learn in terms of, I call literacy, is writing. I've got some young people to help you. You tell them to write you a sentence or write a paragraph. They don't know about, you got to capitalize, you know, at the beginning, you got to put a period at the end. And I'm saying these young people, we've got too many of them that will not succeed if we don't intervene. So with that being said, I want to talk to you about the village. Now, enter the village. That's you. You are all a part of the village. And let me tell you about this. And I'm just going to, if you can see some of it, I'm just going to talk off of this. And then I can just share with what I'm saying. And we call District C the village.